What's going on, guys? Marcel Benson, investor, entrepreneur. Look, I'm back in LA, back in sunny LA, and I wanted to make a video that I really had on my heart when I was on the plane, right? So, I've been talking to a lot of people in the group. I've been talking to a lot of people that are looking to join the group. I was just recently in New York training somebody, and the thing that is on a lot of people's minds is like, what is the best way to start creating wealth for myself? What is the best way to start creating? Uh, you know, some people call it a retirement, but for me, it's like it's just freedom, because retirement is not really an age. Retirement is a state of mind, right? It's being able to make money. Because even when you retire, like if you're a person that just enjoys doing things, enjoys working, you can still do that. But you do want to get to a point in your life when you have an older body, a possibly older mind, where you don't have to exert as much energy in, bringing your money in. So what wealth truly is it's an opportunity for you to not have to, actually do the labor, do the work, and just sheerly by time going by, you get the opportunity to make money, right? Because of smart decisions that you made. So I'm gonna get into all of that in this video. But before we jump into it, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share. You guys know I'm on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. When I get to the 1,000 subscribers, I told you I got a surprise for you. Okay, so share this video out and let's get into it. Okay, now I'll start by saying, what is wealth, right? Wealth is the ability to live without working, right? Some people measure their wealth in years. How many years could I go without ever bringing another dime in? That is a question that you want to ask yourself. If things stop right now, like all income stopped right now, how long would you be able to last? Some people's wealth will not last them more than a couple days. Some not more than a couple weeks. And if you're doing well, it will last you the rest of your life expectancy, right? So there's so many different ways to go about this. As you all know, because you're following me here, stocks, right? Stocks is probably the best way to do it. We trade options, but I want you guys to understand the importance of equity. So stocks, right? I made a video earlier about how there are different versions of real estate in the stock market. So there's people that are interested in rentals for real estate. The equivalent of that in the stock market is dividend plays, right? Dividend plays is a really strong um, tool or instrument to building your wealth for the long term. It's like having somebody renting out your house for life. And the more dividend stocks you have is like you play a monopoly, essentially. It's like the more rental properties you have, around the world that are just consistently bringing you income. The only difference is you ain't got to worry about a property manager. You ain't got to worry about water damage. You don't have to worry about mold. You don't have to worry about squatters. You don't have to worry about any of the things that would plague you as being a landlord. You get to just sit back and know that that dividend is coming either on a monthly or a quarterly basis. So here's what you want to do. If you are trading options, that's beautiful. Options is a little risky, but it is high returns, which we love when we're on the grind, when we're trying to get to that place, right? But never forget, when you're setting your daily goals, when you're setting your weekly goals for options, wealth is about slowing things down, right? And it sounds a little counterintuitive, but you want to slow your money down. I'm going to tell you why in just a second, right? When you slow your money down, it gives you less risk, meaning you can go to sleep peacefully at night and not have to worry about anything. Something that has less risk is it's more of a chance that it's going to be there consistently, and you don't have anything to worry about. And that's what we want to be: worry free, stress free, as we're matriculating, as we're getting older, right? But we're gonna be making money in so many different ways along the way: swing trades, day trades, scalping. All of these things are how we're making the money, right? That's our job. That's how we want to be making the money with the options, right? And some people may call that passive, but true passive income, you do absolutely nothing but make a decision one time. Okay? So I want you guys to keep in mind when you're setting your weekly goals for options to have a set aside for equities. These equities can be strong, ETFs like VOO, VTI, SCHD, SPY, QQQ, whatever you're interested in, right? ARC, those are all great ETFs, but also some dividend plays, right? If you're, like I said, if you're into real estate, there's some real estate investment trusts that you can get, right? ABR, right? EARN. These are good names in real estate. There's also, tycoons like Coca-Cola that have been paying dividends for 50 years and increasing them every time, right? So there are so many solid plays. You guys can go do more research. This video is not going to get into the detail of every single dividend play. I will have a totally separate video for that. But the point of this video is to get you to understand that every time you make money, there needs to be a set aside. There needs to be a set aside for you to continue making that money. So you want to be growing your options bag, right? When you make money from options, yeah, you can pay yourself a little something, but put some back into the account so that you can ultimately accumulate a bigger account so that you can ultimately risk more, which means you can ultimately make more. But the end goal of that is to be working on that retirement, right? Max out your IRA. Make sure you're putting at least $7,000 a year in it, but also trading in that as well. But stocks, equities are going to be the thing that slows all of the trading down, right? The trading is the skill, but the equities, the stocks themselves, the dividends, the growth stocks, the value stocks, that is the true wealth because you own it and you can have a much longer outlook. Now, options are beautiful, but they are a little risky because the longest you can have an option out is for a leap for about 2 years, which is great, right? Typically, you will see growth in 2 years if you're buying at a discounted price or some sort of pullback, or coming out of a bear market or something like that, right? But you can have a much longer outlook when you own something because you can't think of a time where something being held for 10 years did not make money, right? You can't think of a time, really even 5 years. I don't think we've had a bear market longer than that. I have to confirm that. I'll put it in the description below this. But I have to go do some research and confirm. But I don't think we've even had a bear market that's lasted 5 years. So when you have a longer term perspective, you can always be accumulating. Now, you never want to overpay for something, right? Always try to find the best price during that time. We can never know what the absolute best price is because we can be in a bear or bull market, and that can fluctuate. But you want to always be accumulating stocks with your profits from options. Okay? You make the profits, secure ownership. Make the profits, secure ownership, and repeat. This is a recipe for wealth. In 5, 10 years, you will thank yourself. I'm telling you, this formula works. It's worked for me, right? I'm continuing to do this now. I'm continuing to accumulate crypto as I profit in trading options. Trading options is the vehicle, but we want to place it in ownership, right? You having equities, right? You having dividend stocks. This makes you no different than the people that started that company, right? You'll never have the amount that they have, but you are a part owner of some of the greatest companies in the world, right? That's when things really get beautiful and amazing. Because, like, I don't know about you, but yeah, I'm a hard-working Capricorn, right? Y'all know I'm always climbing. I'm a goat, but I'm not gonna lie. I love not having to do anything to make money. Oh, I don't know if it's anything. I used to think that making money, working hard to make money was the best thing to do. But then when I realized you can make money without working, I'm like, oh, wow. I can focus my attention on something else. So I spend my first couple of hours of the day making money in options. First thing I do is I do a split. Put a little bit away for taxes. Put a little bit back into the account for growing the options account so I can risk more and continue to do that. And put a little bit away into, wealth, right? Which is IRA and just long-term holding of stocks and ETFs, right? Please start doing that if you're not doing it now. right? I know some people may feel like they're not making a ton. Oh, more so, I may not be making what you're making. You got to understand that percentages don't die. Percentages do not change, right? I don't care if you're making $10, $1,000 a day, or $10,000, or even $50,000 a day. Throw 30% in your wealth building. Throw 15 to 20% for taxes. Pay yourself a little something. Maybe give yourself 5-10%, and then throw the rest in growing your account, right? We make money. We give ourselves the ability to make more money by putting it back into the stock option account. We are paying our future self by buying equities, by buying dividends, right? So we're creating an income for ourselves later, and actual, a bucket of money, cash, that we can also make money from later, right? We making sure that we keep the government off our back, right? And then we're also taking care of ourselves. So this is why, like, if you work a job, there's no shame in that, right? Because you still got your income from that. This can be a side income that goes strictly towards building your future self. And as this over here gets bigger, when your account goes from 5 to 10,000 to 20,000 to 100,000, oh, now you can easily give yourself a raise and start making more money per day. Imagine what over here is doing if you're able to start making 1,000 a day. That's 22,000 a month, right? Because we got 22 trading days in a year. When you get to making $30,000, $40,000 a month, what that's doing to over here your future self, right? This is still growing. So you're making more each year. You're giving yourself a raise each year. You're giving your future self a raise each year. And you know what's also happening? You're not doing anything but making a decision to put the money over here. There's no risk here, right? Yeah, you're still working your job. There's a little bit of risk. You're getting better. You're building your skill set for trading. But when you drop the money here, it is accumulating, right? You own that. It's not going nowhere. It's firm, right? You're making a decision now that your future self is going to thank you for. I can't stress it enough. And I know it may seem like it's oversimplified, but that's really all it is. Wealth is just making the right decision at the right time. Wealth is considering your future self. Wealth is showing love to your future self. That's it. Look. There is nothing that gives you more peace of mind than just like knowing you made the right decision. When you talk to any older person, like right now, like, y'all know what's going on with my dad and all that stuff. That's really got me to a place where I'm just like really just thinking about all the decisions that I've made, all the decisions that people in my family have made or not made. And it's just like, yo, if you're watching this video, you're the one. You're the one. You wouldn't be spending your time listening to me, listening to Zay, being in the group, studying, searching YouTube. If you were not the one, it wouldn't resonate. You are the one. And I want you to get this right. And if you found me, if you found this page, if you found our group, I promise you you're in good hands. Right? This is something that we've been talking about and discussing for years, 10 years into a friendship. Just constantly talking about future self, evolution, becoming a better person. Right? You are going to grow. Okay? But you cannot skip the steps. You cannot ignore this person yet because it's not here, right? Do yourself a favor and pay into your future. Buy your freedom by just putting a little bit over there, 30%, right? 30%. When you make money, already have that filter on. Already have that filter on, 30% over there. That's all I got, man. Again, shout out to everybody in the Prosperity Collective. We have a beautiful movement going on over there, man. We family. We get up every morning. We laugh, we crack jokes, we have a good time, but we're growing consistently. Anybody in the group, you can probably agree. We getting more money. We becoming better. Y'all funny as shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there is nothing like this place. And if this is your first time seeing me, welcome, right? If this is your first time coming into my space, right? Welcome. Click the link in the description. I'm telling you, there is nothing on the internet like this. We charge $40 a month for you to change your life. Find somebody on the internet doing that. It's not about, oh, we better or nothing like that. No, we just different, right? And when you join, you'll see exactly what I mean, okay? If you are part of the group, say something to these people, please. Tell them this is not a sales pitch. Tell them this is me trying to save their life. All right? I love y'all, man. Y'all know it's always love over here. I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.